Hey guys, it's Mark Anthony here, and
Teresa, welcome to our Facebook Live event this evening. Sorry we just got started a little bit late this evening. So welcome to this evening. If this is your first time, me and Mark are the founders of CoCreation, and we specialize in the teaching of spiritual and personal development. And tonight is an opportunity for us to answer any questions that you may have, anyone that's done Theta Healing classes, or anyone just in general who's on a spiritual path, are growing and developing, and we're here to help answer any of your questions around and give you guidance around finances, around relationships, around your health, and also anyone that might be concerned with what's going on in, I guess, worldwide at the moment with the pandemic. Any questions regarding that? So we'll probably get started tonight really quickly because we've got quite a few questions. But at the end, we'll also do a meditation, and throughout the evening, you'll also receive healing downloads. So we'll get started with our first question. Yeah, Mark? Okay, what have we got here? Okay, so our first question is from Lena. So hers is a health question. So her friend is only 50 and the gums are shrinking like a 70-year-old man. He has very good oral hygiene, always does dental cleaning on time, brush teeth in according to dentist guides. Dentists also find it strange it's happening at a young age, but there is no medical way to stop or cure it. His body always has inflammation for around the last 7 years, which occurs in lower back of spine, not to the definition of medical diagnosis as yet. So she wants a bit of insight as to why his gums may be shrinking.
Cool. So gums are generally associated with decision making, but they're also part of your mouth and connected to your teeth. So it's all part of that digestive process, but also bones and teeth are about connection to God as well. So there's a whole number of things that are tied in there, and basically what I'd be working on there is just his ability to make decisions for himself, his ability to make decisions for himself in his in relation to his life and the key choices in his life. That's really probably the key thing I'd be working on there. If he's had inflammation for a very long time, then basically what I'd be looking at there is you're working on those three key areas. So worthiness, resentment, and guilt. So generally, if there's any sort of infection, you're looking at those three aspects. You're tying in all three of those together. So that's what I'd be working on there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. The next question she's got about her twin flame. Does twin flames, one of the soul can return back to creator, him or herself, or has to go with the twin flame together back to the creator after ascend?
Okay, so...
And does twin flames always be together after back to the fifth plane, or be whatever according to their own free will?
Yeah, so it's important to understand what a twin flame actually is, right? A twin flame is actually somebody who is exactly like you. So, in most cases, you don't want to be in a relationship with your twin flame, right? Because I know if I was in a relationship with somebody exactly like myself, right?
Not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think I'd last, to be totally honest with you. And that's what a twin flame basically is. So, if that's what you're talking about, then there are plenty of twin flames out there, and they're all part of that same soul family. So, at the end of the day, when we all choose to go back home to the spiritual aspect of ourselves, we're all part of that oneness of all that is. So whether it's the fifth plane, the seventh plane, it's all part of the one energy. So it's just that whole consciousness. So I mean, if you're talking about, on the other hand, your divine life partner or something like that, then your paths here on earth don't have to end at the same time. A divine life partner is just somebody who shares the same purpose that you do. And so basically you come down here and you've got your purpose that you're here to fulfill, and their purpose is in alignment with yours, so your purposes are working together like in a parallel, and you're actually complementing each other. So your purpose here could be to be here for the next 120 years, and their purpose could finish after 80 years. So it doesn't mean that just because you're together you have to leave at the same time. It doesn't have to work that way. It just depends how much your soul is choosing to achieve in this particular physical existence.
Okay, great. So the next question she has is just about your soul family dynamics. What is that actually like? Does a soul family member always love and support each other in the fifth plane, or there are some members that are in the fourth plane or lower fifth plane that there is drama to within that soul family?
Okay, so the key thing is like you got like the fifth plane of existence, which does have drama, but when you're talking about souls, when you're talking about like if we were to pass over today and we go back to our being that soul, that pure spark of all that is, there is none of that drama that goes on for us, right? That drama is only beneficial in the fifth plane when we're coming back here onto this third plane of existence. Because when we're on this third plane of existence, the limitations, the boundaries that fifth plane consciousness creates allows us to be convinced that this physical experience that we're having is real, right? And it allows us to believe in that duality. So if you had your favorite food and the only thing that you ever ate was your favorite food, how would you know that it's your favorite food? It would cease to be in existence. And so that duality that is experiencing that is happening on that fifth plane of existence is only beneficial for us when we're here on this third plane of existence. So when we're on the third plane, we're using the other planes to allow us to raise our consciousness. And it's important to understand that because from a soul perspective, there is no good, there is no bad. Everything just is. So there's no drama, there's no disappointment. One of my favorite sayings is one of Vianna's, where she says, your soul is having a ball, it's just the physical that chucks a tantrum. And that is really profound because like we come down here and we're in this physical plane. If you look at the current situation that we're experiencing at the moment with the pandemic and all the things that are going on, like there's so many aspects to what's happening, should we vax, should we not vax, like the way the governments are handling the situation. There's so many conspiracies associated with it. There's so much going on. There's so many different aspects of things. And if you're going to get caught up in all of that drama, then you're going to drive yourself crazy. And so it's really important that you allow yourself to see beyond that. So on some level, we have created everything that we're experiencing. So there is a gift in every situation. So allow yourself to be present and recognize that everything is a gift, and know that on a soul level, all of this drama does not exist. There is just a lesson that you're here to learn at this particular time. And all of us chose to be here now. None of us are here by mistake. None of us are here through punishment or anything like that. All of us chose to be here at this particular time. So there is something in this whole experience that we have manifested together, and it's important for us to allow ourselves to identify what is it that is really there for us. What is the catalyst for the growth that comes out of this experience that we're going through. And when we allow ourselves to see that, then all of a sudden we're able to move beyond everything. But the truth is on a soul level, like everything's just perfect. There is no good or bad. There is no judgment. There is no right or wrong. Everything is just a perfect experience that is going to help you learn the lessons that you are choosing to learn here on this physical plane.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So our next question is from Reno. She's experiencing intense relationship with her 24-year-old daughter. They are so close on a deeper level, and at the same time misunderstand and fight a lot recently. It feels like we are so connected that it's hard to separate and disconnect in understanding each other. I want her to be responsible for her own life, but at the same time scared of her to make mistakes and fail. I'm a Theta Healing practitioner, but can't help her as it is too painful for both of us. But we both want our own life to be sorted out in all ways, safely, keeping good memories and not focusing on downsides. So can you give her some insight on what she needs to do there?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, one of the first things that I'm actually picking up there, it's almost like energetically, it's like there's like I wouldn't say curses, but it's not far from it. It's like, psychic attacks on, you and your family. So it's almost like there's people around you that are actually jealous. So maybe she does really well with her grades or something like that, or, and it seems like it's been there for a little while now too. So, it feels like it comes from somebody that's close. Somebody who's always been jealous of, or, maybe jealous of your relationship with her and your success in that area with her. So what we'll do is we'll just pull those psychic attacks, psychic hooks that anybody has sent to you or that has sent to her, and because it's a psychic hook or a psychic attack, like, we can actually pull that energy. The other thing that I'd actually be doing there is working on myself. I mean, unless she's open to it, you can do a healing on her about it, but what I would be doing is working on myself about how it makes me feel that I'm having those issues with my daughter. How does it make me feel that I have a daughter who is, behaving that way? How does it make me feel that I'm constantly scared about my daughter, what she's doing and where she's going? I would be working on myself about how that makes me feel, because at the moment you're emotionally attached to a negative outcome. And the only way that you're going to free yourself from these issues is releasing yourself from your attachment to that negative outcome. When you're able to trust and know that she's always taken care of, that she's safe and protected, then you're able to relax and you're not going to be worried about those things. When you know that you have a wonderful relationship with her, you're not going to be scared about your relationship with her. And so it's important to allow yourself to build that faith that you can already have those things that you desire with her in your relationship. So let's just teach you how to do that. Teach you how to allow yourself to recognize what's really there for you. Teach you that it's safe and possible to let it go. And just, whatever psychic attacks, psychic hooks that are there at this point in time that no longer serve or benefit you, we're going to send them to the Creator's light, release them, complete them. And the other thing that we're going to do is just teach you what it feels like to have a wonderful relationship with your daughter, what it feels like to have a great relationship with her, to have clear communication with her, and to be able to work together with your daughter, knowing that you're on the same page and you both have her best interests in mind. So let's just download those. Cool. So what's next?
Okay, the next question is from Javita. So she has a question regarding her health. She'd appreciate some guidance on how to heal dental problems, once again, which last for years. She's done a lot of healing on her teeth, but these issues seem to never end. I feel so overwhelmed by them. I feel lost right now. What is the real cause for this? So if you can tune in for her.
And that is perfect, because the question and the answer were all in the same email, right? So if you hear that, it's like, like the dental problems are all about connection to God. And then in that same question, she's saying that, like, she feels so overwhelmed and that's the whole point of it, like, feeling lost. It's about that connection to God. It's all about, like, what is my direction? What am I really here? What am I doing here on this planet? What is my purpose? All that sort of stuff ties into that. And it's, like, there's that whole connection to God thing. And it's really important that, people are understanding that life is truly a gift. Like, you have chosen to come here to this physical plane, and you are part of all that is. So the only separation that takes place or is actually there is the separation that we're creating in our own minds. So all of that separation is an illusion. And the more we allow ourselves to understand and accept that we are one with all that is, the more, or the quicker wonderful things will begin to happen in our lives. And one of the key things out of that is like, constantly feeling like we're being victimized by life. We look at, the current environment, the political, medical, whatever environments, there's so many people impacted financially at the moment. Like it just, for a lot of people, it's just feeling like they're bombarded on so many levels at the moment. And you know what? All of it is part of the illusion. We're creating those things to be real in our own lives. We are the ones who can allow ourselves to move beyond it. Why is it that some people are having their best times ever at the moment? Why is it that some people are in, lockdown and they're having so much fun during this lockdown, like it's the best time they've ever had, and then other people are really struggling? At the end of the day, it's just a choice. It's part of the creation that we're choosing. But what's really important is to allow ourselves to recognize, okay, well, what's really going on here for me? Why have I created the life that I have created to this point? And that is the first step, because when you accept that you are not a victim of life, you are not a victim of your circumstances, that's when you can start becoming empowered in your life. When you accept that, okay, well, you know what, the reason why I'm here in this position is because of all the choices and all the things that I've done in my life. So that's not to beat myself up over. That is to recognize that, okay, you know what, the buck stops with me. I am the one who is creating my life. So if I've created such a mess to this point, then I should be really excited, because if I can create such a mess and it feels so real, then I can create the whole opposite and allow it to be completely amazing, and it will be so real as well. And that is really the key to all the work that we're doing with this spirituality stuff. It's just about being able to accept that we are one with all that is, and that everything is possible for us. And that's why all the teeth issues are going on, because you're not allowing yourself to digest life properly. You're struggling in that area. That's like, the start of the digestive system. That's where you're taking things in. So you're always taking things in the wrong way. So what we want to do is just teach you how to have discernment on the things that are happening in your life. Teach you how to live without feeling victimized by life. Teach you how to live without feeling victimized by Creator or God or whatever, term you choose to use for, that higher power. And the other thing that we want to do is just teach you what it feels like to be comfortable in your own life, what it feels like to accept that you have created your life to this point, and that if your life is going to change, then you're the one who's going to change it. That the buck stops with you, and knowing that you do have the power to change it. But as long as you keep thinking the same way, as long as you keep acting the same way, then you're going to find that you're going to keep getting exactly the same results. I had a similar email recently where somebody was actually asking me about, like, all this drama going on, not believing in the Creator, like, the more spiritual work that they've done, they just feel deeper in a hole, and they just feel like none of this is working. Look, at the end of the day, it's not going to work for you if that's what you believe. But as long as you keep thinking that way, nothing's going to change. The only way your life is going to change, the only way your life is going to improve, is when you choose to start seeing things differently. You can look at everything as the glass is half full, or you can look at it as half empty. And that is the choice. But as long as you're focused on your life and you're focusing on all the negative things that you're experiencing, then you are just going to create more of those things. It's just like, if I was to tell you tonight, have a look, keep an eye out for yellow cars. You probably haven't seen a yellow car in ages unless you own one. But what happens is all of a sudden now you'll go out into the street and you'll start seeing yellow cars. You'll start noticing them. The thing is they were always there, but they weren't in your reality. They weren't in your focus. But all of a sudden now we've mentioned them, we've spoken about them, and we've brought it into your focus. So what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing more of them. So as long as you're focused on the negative things that are happening in your life, the victimization experiences, then you're going to keep creating negative experiences in your life. So it's really important that you allow yourself to recognize that the reason why this is all happening is because of you. And it's not saying that from a negative space, it's saying that from a space of, okay, you know what? I have created my life to this point, and it is what it is. But how am I choosing to create my life from this point forward? And that is the key thing, because as long as we're in denial, nothing's going to improve, nothing's going to get better. So it's really important that we allow ourselves to recognize that we are first cause in our lives, and we are the ones who can actually change our lives and create whatever it is that we desire. So what we're going to do is do those downloads that I mentioned for you, right? And, you know, I do apologize a little bit because I've got a little bit off track into that other question that I was asked as well. But mainly with the teeth stuff, it's about just knowing that you know, you are one with the Creator, and that you can allow your life to improve, that you can allow yourself to focus on the positive and wonderful things that are happening in your life, and that it's safe and possible to do that. So let's just download those. Okay, cool. Next.
Okay, the next question is from Sharon. So basically this year she returned to school for a master's degree in art. Lately, one of her friends sent her an ad job opportunity in art field. It's a foreign company who wants to hire someone based in Japan, but the salary level they offer is lower than Japanese labor's law's minimum. Though it seems like a lot that I can learn from the role, but the salary level is indecent and illegal, especially I have 15 years of working experience in a similar field. My question is how to identify and realize whether it's an opportunity or just labor exploitation. When I value myself, I think I'm worth more, but people always say, look at the future, invest for the future. What about I feel disvalued at this moment? Please kindly let me know your opinions.
Yeah, cool. So keeping in mind that we all know what opinions are, right? Look,
Perspectives.
in this situation, right? You got to look at this in two ways, right? And the first way that you're looking at it, right, is this the job or the work that you would love to be doing, right? Is this the work that you would be passionate about doing, right? And that's the first and most important thing that you're looking at, right? So am I interested in looking at or getting this job because this is what, you know, is going to make my heart open, and I'm so passionate about doing this work, right? That's the first thing that you need to be asking. The second way you're looking at it is, are you like, you know, a police officer that is there to, you know, keep everybody in alignment about, like, you know, like the rules and regulations associated with jobs? Because the thing is, if you're going in there with that whole right or wrong mentality of, like, you know, this is, you know, illegal what you're paying people and stuff like that, don't even bother going for that job, right? If you can't get your head off that, then don't even bother going for it. Because the thing is you're going to get yourself into that whole, you know, judgment energy. You're going to get yourself into that whole, you know, right or wrong energy. And as soon as you're in that energy, your interview's not going to go great anyway. So the thing is you need to look beyond, you know, what's in that advertisement. The thing is that price that they're putting in there is just a guide. If it was me and I was passionate about doing the work that is advertised in that job, then I would go for that job interview. And when it came time to, you know, once they've expressed, you know, the requirements of the job, the expectations of the job, what the role is, and if it is something that interests me, I would say to them, yes, I am interested, but this is the figure that I would be looking at. Because at the end of the day, it's a negotiation. Yeah. They've put that price out there. It doesn't mean that that's the fixed price and that's all it is. All it is just a guide to allow you to recognize that. But if you go in there and you wow them, they see you and they think, wow, you're amazing, then they're going to up that offer straight away. They're going to pay you what you believe you are worth, right? But if unconsciously you believe you're worth that lower amount and you're resentful of that, then what's going to happen is that's going to be the figure that they offer you. And it's really important to understand that, because you are the one who is setting that energy. If you go in there thinking, okay, that's the maximum that they're going to offer, then that interview is going to go really badly for you anyway. So don't even bother going for it. But if you go in there with an open mind and know that your value is much higher, you're going in there to sell yourself. They're selling the job to you, and you're selling yourself that you are the right person for that role. And if you're the right person for that role, then those people are going to be prepared to pay you what you are worth. And so let go of like that whole mindset. So if you're going in there as like a lawyer to, you know, make them right and make them accountable, don't even bother. But if you're going in there because you believe that that's going to be something that you can make a real difference in, and that you're going to be really passionate about it, then go for it, and know that the price is negotiable. And if the price doesn't come up to what is acceptable for you, then so be it. All you got to know is that there is roles out there that are right for you, and you'll find that one that is happy to value you the way you value yourself. So let's just teach you how to have clarity on all of that. So knowing how to, you know, go for a job interview for the right reasons, knowing how to let go of the drama associated with it, and knowing how to live without having to believe everything that is in that advertisement, thinking that that's, you know, the limit of what they're prepared to pay, right? So what we want to do is just teach you how to allow yourself to raise your value, and allow other people to see your value, to recognize your value. So let's just download those. Cool. So
Okay.
what's next?
Our next question is from Claudia. So this has kind of been translated, so I'll do my best in the English translation of what she's asking. So is it possible through, this is what Claudia's asking, is it possible through Theta Healing not to be influenced, is that angered by certain energies, especially when they are important energy events such as August the 22nd and the 13th moon? Previous work in Theta Healing, I remain of the fears of past traumas, major trauma at the energy level. For example, I am vibrating like a violin string. Even if I work on the limb and nervous system, I think you get the gist. I think she's talking about being influenced by planetary energies that are taking place on the planet, and not to be affected by those energies. And can we do that with Theta Healing?
Absolutely. And it's about keeping it really simple, because all you need to do is just command to disconnect yourself from whatever that planetary alignment is, or misalignment, or whatever it may be, right? The planetary energies. You know, there's so many different aspects. You've got astrology, you've got like, you know, like people, you know, there are studies about how the different tides, the moon phases affect our bodies, etc. And, you know, there's so much information out there that, you know, you could be looking into. But like, you know, what I've found is there's so much out there that it becomes like brain candy after a while, and it becomes like even more stressful knowing about all these things. So if you have an awareness about something, then all you do is disconnect yourself from the group consciousness of it. Really keep it simple. Just know that if that is the consciousness of whatever is happening on the planet at this time, then know that you can command to disconnect yourself from that consciousness. That you can make yourself impervious to that consciousness. So let's just download that for you now. So for everybody who'd like to receive that. So whatever's going on with the planet, the
like retrograde and all
August
that sort of
the 22nd alignment, the 13th moon, whatever that is, just disconnect yourself from that group consciousness. Unless it's a positive, right? If it's a positive thing, then you don't mind allowing that energy in, right? But let's just disconnect from the group consciousness of it, and make you impervious to any negative effects from those experiences.
And can we also allow us to receive the positive energies through the 7th plane? So if there is positive energy hitting the planet, can we also do that for everybody?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
All right, cool.
Okay, our next question is from Susan. So she started a business some time ago. It's really fluctuated and came to a standstill last week. I've been doing clearing around it, and this week I have more clients around it, but my motivation and passion seems to fluctuate too. What should I be looking at?
I shouldn't be looking at my son's computer, that's for sure. It's all these messages from his friends. Something about one of them's not wearing pants or something like that. It's just
Let's not go there.
distracting me. Okay. So what was the question again?
Okay, so this is from Susan. Says some time ago she started a business. It's really fluctuated and come to a standstill last week. She's been clearing around it, and this week she has more clients around it, but her motivation and passion seems to fluctuate too. What should she be looking at?
Yeah. So especially when it comes to business, you are first cause. So if you're going through those mood swings, then what you're going to find is your clients will go through those swings with you. So when you're feeling really good, you'll find more of them come in, and when you're not feeling so hot, then what's going to happen is they'll keep away from you as well. They'll give you that space. The changes in you are causing the changes in your business. And so what I'd really be doing there is just going back to, you know, why are you really doing the business? Going back to the reasons, like understanding what the importance of it, what it's giving you, what it's doing for you in relation to your life purpose. What's really behind you doing that business, doing that sort of work. Because, if you're doing healing work, the average person isn't becoming a healer, like a practitioner, to become rich, right? Because it's not one of those businesses that is going to give you like an infinite income. The thing is it's going to, because realistically you're trading time for money, so it's limited to the amount of time that you can put in by the number of hours in a day. And then like there's only so many clients that you can see in a day, and only so many clients you can see in a year, so it's always going to be limited by that. And obviously as you progress, you can raise the price of your consultation, so you can allow a lot more abundance to come in. But in order to create real success in your life, then it's about leveraging yourself and what you're going to do with that money. But what we need to be doing is bringing it back to, why are you doing this business? Like, what is it really about this? Because, as I was saying earlier, like, you don't get into the healing business to become a billionaire from seeing clients. You get into the healing industry because you love people and you love helping people. You love making a difference in their lives, and it's really rewarding for you to be able to see the changes that take place in their lives. And that's the real gift of this healing work that we do. It's being able to make that positive difference in other people's lives. That's what's really profound about this work, and that's what makes it really rewarding. So that's what I'd be bringing my focus back on. And then I would be setting new goals for yourself. Allow yourself to have goals that are a stretch for you, and allow yourself to stay focused on those goals. And when you do that, you'll find that your business will grow. You'll have a lot more success, and it'll be more regular success. And that's the key, because it's all about the difference that you make in people's lives, and that's really what you want to allow yourself to remember. Because if you're seeing a few clients, you may feel that you're unappreciated, and that all of a sudden you don't feel as good, and then all of a sudden there's less clients coming to see you. And that's one of the key things, for practitioners. It's about letting go of being so temperamental, and myself included. For many years I was doing the one-on-one consultations, and I'd go through all those roller coaster experiences as well, because you're giving so much of yourself when you're helping people. So it's important to let go of that, but it's important to keep in front of you the reasons why you're doing it. And so that's what I'll be focusing on. So let's just teach you how to recognize why what you do is important to you, and teach you how to allow yourself to see the importance and the benefit, the positive changes that you make in other people's lives, and knowing how to appreciate yourself for that, and knowing how to trust that you can have a successful business that continues to grow, that you allow your business to continue growing, and that it's safe and possible to have exponential growth in your business. So let's just download all of those. Cool.
Okay, cool. Our next question is from Elise. So she wants to, she's had really inflamed and sore sinuses for over a month now. It seems many people are experiencing the same thing. She also gets stiffness at the base of her skull and left side of her neck into her shoulder. Haven't been able to shift it. It's starting to create a lot of attention. So any advice would be appreciated.
A lot of tension, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So basically what's happening there is you're sitting down too much, right? You're sitting down in awkward positions, and what that's doing is actually putting strain on your back muscles, probably straining on your lat muscles as well. And what you're finding is it's pushing strain on, you know, your neck muscles and like your pec muscles as well. And so there's all this tension going in there, and that's why you got so much stiffness in your neck. The sinus thing, and sinuses are generally about, like, you know, not getting things the way you want them, and especially with family, right? So it's all tying in together. So it's like, you know, not having things the way you want them to be with the people around you, the people that you're close to. And then there's all this inactivity because we're all in, you know, lockdown or semi-lockdowns, or, you know, like restricted circumstances where, you know, we're not able to, you know, meet up with the people that we normally would, and, you know, the frequency of meeting up with people, and even the physical contact with people. So there's all these aspects of it, and so what it is like our lifestyle has been diminished, and it's been diminished for a long period of time. And, you know, we're spending more time at home, we're spending more time laying on the couch, we're spending more time sitting in that favorite chair, but like in a really awkward position. And it's putting strain on different muscles in our bodies. And so it's important to understand, like, a lot of that is just physical. So if you can get yourself into a magnesium bath or something like that, that's really going to help you. But from an emotional perspective, what I'd be looking at is I'd be dealing with my issues about not getting what you want with the people that are around you, the people that you're close to. The other thing I'd be looking at as well is, you know, like the stubbornness, rigidity of, you know, being where you're at the moment, not allowing yourself to embrace change, not allowing yourself to see things differently, not allowing yourself to do things differently. And so what we're going to do is just teach you how to allow yourself to recognize positive change, teach you how to take positive action towards change, and allowing your life to change in positive and wonderful ways. It's safe and possible to allow positive and wonderful change in your life. And the other thing that we want to do is just teach you how to live without being so sensitive to your family and what they're doing. Teach you how to live without feeling like everything that they're doing is like a personal attack on you. So what we want to do is just teach you how to relax with the people that you love and care about, and knowing how to recognize that they love and care about you, allowing yourself to accept that they love and care about you. Right? So let's just download all of those.
Okay, great. Our next question is from Camilla. So could you please give her some insights on what to do and how to react? Because sometimes she sees some weaknesses in her son that is the same as herself, and it makes her upset because she doesn't want him to have the same weaknesses as herself.
Isn't it the worst? I always see the kids doing stuff that Teresa does.
Excuse me? Well, like your weaknesses.
I am just kidding, but
it does happen.
Yeah, look, you know, like, you know, you always look at it, and you know, that's been one of the biggest eye openers for me over the years with
children.
You know, like, you know, with our kids and stuff like that, because, you know, you look at them and you think, like, you know, they're behaving in a particular way, and you look at them and you think, oh my God, of all the things you could have taken from me, you chose that. Like, you know, seriously. And yeah, look, it can get really frustrating, but it is a gift, because all it's doing is showing you what you don't like about yourself. So you need to work on that. Work on why you don't like that about yourself. Why is that a negative trait? Why is that a negative characteristic?
So dig on it.
And it's important to allow yourself to dig on that and release it. But what we're going to do is give you discernment on everything that your son is doing. Give you discernment on your weaknesses, and teach you how to live without focusing on them as weaknesses. Teach you how to see the positives in your son and also in yourself, and knowing how to allow yourself to accept that there are positive attributes about you and there are positive attributes about your son. And knowing that you can focus on those, that you can allow the positives to grow, and that it's safe and possible to allow those positives to grow. And then what we're going to do as well is just teach you how to love and appreciate yourself, how to love and respect yourself for who you are right now. So looking at all your imperfections, looking at all your so-called weaknesses, and knowing that you can love yourself exactly the way you are, and that it's safe and possible to do that, and that you can allow, you know, your love and appreciation of yourself to grow on a daily basis. So let's just download all of those for everyone. Cool.
Okay, so our next question is from Melanie. So she lives in Kingscliff in New South Wales, and she really likes it there. However, the border closures are depressing, cause that stop her from crossing to Queensland to see her mum. And being closer to her is a big reason she moved back down there. I'm in New South Wales because they allow pets in caravan parks and it's cheaper to rent, so win-win. I have a job down here, but also looking to get more work better suited to my healing and massage business. Do you have any ideas or advice for me, please? Thank you.
Yeah, so the whole frustration part, I mean, the thing is, it's frustrating for everybody at the moment. I don't think there are too many people at the moment who aren't frustrated, really. But the key is, like, just not to be focusing on that. So what you want to be doing is looking at the opportunities that are presenting themselves, because from every obstacle there is an equal or greater opportunity. So it's important that you allow yourself to be aware and recognize opportunities that are there. So you know, the situation with your mum, I mean, you know, it's difficult, but thank God we've got things like, you know, FaceTime and you know, like, you know, Messenger and all that sort of stuff, where you can have like live video calls, and you can actually still see each other and that, and she'd probably really be appreciating that at the moment too. But you know, when it comes to your business, it's about allowing yourself to see the opportunities in every situation, and you know, realistically, with what's going on in our society at the moment, with what's going on around the world, there's never been a bigger time for healers, and you know, especially massage at the moment. Like, you know, like, people are not being active. Like, one of the most important things that you can do for your muscles is get a massage. You know, releasing that tension that's in those muscles, especially like deep tissue massage. When you're releasing that tension, you'll be amazed how different you feel. And you know, the medical industry doesn't really recognize the part that muscles play in our bone structure. So a lot of the times, like, you know, people, you know, may need a hip replacement or something like that, but often the reason why they need that hip replacement is because the muscles are tight, and those muscles are being tightened up, and so all of a sudden the rest of the body is trying to overcompensate for the muscles that have been tightened up or locked up, and so those muscles are pulling the bones out of place, and that's where you're getting the incorrect wear. And then because it doesn't get dealt with, over time that person ends up needing a knee replacement, or, you know, a hip replacement or something like that. So if you you know, allow yourself to recognize like the benefits of massage, and you're expressing that to people, then you should be flat out at the moment, like, you know, 24/7 with people needing massages. So wherever you are, and I believe massage is one of the services that may, well, you know, don't quote me on this, but I think that massage is one of the services that, like, is still allowed to operate, because like, you know, that's like, you know, it's remedial massage. It's you know, it's,
I don't know about that. You might need to check on that one.
Yeah.
Because she is in New South Wales as well.
Yeah, I think anyway, it doesn't matter. You'll do your own homework anyway. But the thing is, it's like, you know, if you can go and see a chiropractor, you can go and see a proper masseuse, right? You know, that's bottom line of how it works, because I mean, like, you know, they're going to be doing the same sort of thing for you anyway. It's just alignment of your muscles. It's stress release. That sort of thing is really important. So if you're allowed to have, you know, chiropractors and all those sorts of people open, then I don't see why massage is going to be any different. But of course you check and do that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, I'd be focusing on that. And, you know, most businesses, most organizations are expressing how important it is for people to be, like, you know, releasing stress, because stress is one of the biggest causes in, you know, in people's health issues is today, because stress is one of the, and there have been scientific studies to show that, you know, the biggest killer, or one of the biggest killers today, is actual stress. And, you know, you look at the whole, you know, environment that we're in at the moment, there is so much fear associated with the coronavirus, fear associated with vaccines. There is so much fear going on, and fear is basically stress. And so if you've got a way where you can help people actually release that stress, so whether it's through Theta Healing, whether it's through some other healing modality, or even massage, it's important that you're able to let people know about that, and you'll find that you'll actually be really busy. So let's just teach you how to market yourself properly, how to allow yourself to make the most of the opportunities that are around you, and allow yourself to see opportunities for your business to grow and expand, and that it's safe and possible to allow it. So let's just download those for everyone. Okay, cool.
Okay, so the next question is from Christine. So with the highly infectious Delta COVID strain in Australia, lockdowns extending, borders closures, indications from our government that for lockdowns to ease, our vaccination rates need to increase. I feel I need to do my part by getting vaccinated, but I'm concerned about how new it is, its short-term risks, its very rare cases of death from blood clotting, and still unknown long-term risks to my health. Our government and medical representatives are stressing it's urgent we all get vaccinated to reduce pressure on our health system and to keep death rates down. I'm anxious about getting vaccinated, but can see it will help allow our country to open up again, for small businesses to restart, and our arts sector, which is very important to her, she's a performer, to ultimately flourish again. I'm aware that vaccines in the past have helped eradicate serious diseases globally, and appreciate how they prime our immune system to better fight off disease. I'm feeling conflicted about the pros and the cons of getting vaccinated. I'm concerned we could end up as a two-tiered society, those vaxxed and those not. I'm also concerned for some of my close friends and other people's mental health and well-being, those with various conspiracy theories, including thinking the vaccine has a nanochip in it to control people, and that it's designed to kill everyone within 2 years, which doesn't resonate as true for me. Neither does it resonate for us. But anyway, I'd really love a healing around all my vaccine concerns. I'd like to have clarity as to if it's in my highest good to get vaccinated. Is it best for all of us in Australia and the world? With deep gratitude for your support and love. Christine.
Yeah, so I just want to make it clear that, like, you know, I'm not pro-vaccine and I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm pro making the right choices for me and for my family and, you know, for everybody else. So that's the only issue that I have with the whole vaccine program. It's like, you know, there's like this being forced to take it. So, you know, I don't have an issue taking a vaccine. I don't have an issue not taking a vaccine at the same time. But I believe that this is a decision that you have to be making for you. You have to be comfortable making that choice, whether you choose to take it or whether you choose not to take it. And I really believe that's the key, because, you know, if people are forced to take it, right, then that's creating a stress environment in their body anyway. So their immune system is not going to be working properly, right? And that's the whole point of, you know, having a vaccine, is so that you can build the immunity to whatever that microbe is. And you know, look,
and it works the other way as well. Some people don't feel safe without a vaccine, so it's really a personal thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, one of the key things to understand about vaccines, and look, this is something that Vianna's been saying for years, and, like, you know, this was well before, like, you know, the whole coronavirus thing came along. But with any new virus that comes out, when it's always in its infancy, it still doesn't know really what it's doing. And so that's where, you know, sometimes people will die from a virus. But ultimately, once a virus understands that it cannot survive without the host being alive, that's when it stops killing people. So if you look at things like, HIV, you look at, swine flu, when those first came out, like a lot of people were dying from it. But all of a sudden now you don't hear of people dying from those things anymore, because the virus has matured, you could say, and so it understands that it needs to keep the person alive. And so, it's only a matter of time now before all of a sudden we get to this point where that virus evolves enough or matures enough and realizes that, killing people is not going to benefit it at all. And so when you understand that consciousness, when you recognize that situation, then, realistically we're coming to like nearly the 2 year, well, it's a year and a half or something. So we're coming up close to, that 2 year mark where that should be the point where the virus is just going to sort of relax anyway, and it's going to stop killing people, or, putting people in such a fear state that they die from it, etc., or whatever's really happening there. But really, it's all about you having the choice for yourself. If you feel it's the right thing to do to go and get vaccinated, then awesome, go and get it. If you are afraid to get vaccinated at the moment and you're holding off just to get more information to, allow things to sort of settle down so that you're not just a guinea pig for, whatever these vaccines are at the moment, then that's great too. And that's what I believe that we should be in a position to have that choice with. And so it's really important that whatever decision you choose to make, it's your decision and you have the free will to make that choice. And that's, one of our, innate rights as human beings, that we have that free will. We're not, in a convict state anymore. I mean, I know Australia was set up as a convict state, but it's not that way anymore. So I don't believe that, we should be getting forced to do anything. It's about having that free will. It's about having that freedom of choice to do what feels right for us. And so what I recommend is that you do, your research. There is it the FDA site here in Australia?
No, the TGA,
the TGA.
Therapeutic Goods of Australia.
Yeah, so if you have a look at that, it shows you all the different vaccinations and what they're made of, all the different components of them. So it explains everything about those there. So do your own research, make your own informed decision, and speak to a doctor, speak to a number of doctors,
integration doctors, integrative medicine doctors.
Yeah, so what you do is do your homework and make sure you're comfortable with the choice that you're making. And that's
also,
the most important thing.
Because there will be some people who can't get vaccinated, but you need to do that research for yourself as well. So
yeah, that's right. Some people with
have
existing conditions.
Yeah, but you need to get that advice from your doctors, medical experts, ones that you can trust and feel comfortable with.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, you look at a lot of these other countries that do have their vaccination levels up really high and stuff like that, but that's not stopping them from getting corona. They're still getting the virus and stuff like that. So, is that the solution? Is it not the solution? I don't know. You just need to make the right choice for yourself, and you just got to be comfortable with the choice that you do make. As long as you can sleep at night, there's no stress, and that's the key out of this whole situation, is being able to make that choice for yourself, finding the right thing for you, what's going to work for you, what's going to work best for you and the people that you love and care about in your life.
Yeah. And once you do that research, have that quiet time to think and relax and be at peace with yourself on the decision that you're going to make at the end of the day. But if you're worried about what everybody else is thinking and what everyone's telling you what to do, then that just adds stress, and then you can't make that decision for yourself. You feel pressured, and that's a stress in itself, so that's not going to be helpful.
All right, cool. So what's next?
Okay, so our next question is from Eveline. She'd like to know what her blocks are in terms of handling money. I don't feel a sense of ownership over it. I'm very conservative investing it, feel guilty and uncertain on spending too much of it, and feel fearful when I see my savings dwindle. I first learnt of you through your podcast interview with Sinea. I appreciate your graciousness. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Cool. Okay, so first of all, you don't own your money anyway, right? Look at it as you're the temporary custodian of that money. And the thing is the money that comes in, if you're holding on to it and you're hoarding it, then you're going to stop the flow, right? It's really important to understand that. As long as you're holding on to something and you know, trying to keep it with you, then you're going to stop the flow of it. So as long as you're in that energy of needing to hold on to something, you're going to suppress the flow. You're going to stop yourself receiving it. So it's not about going out there and spending all your money. That's not how it works. It's about respecting your money, knowing that the money that comes in is part of your value. The thing is that the level that you have financially is the level that you're resonating at. So the thing is, it's not going to drop below that. You keep yourself at that level, that mental level. And, you know, you'll find that there's times where you're feeling really good and your financial level rises to that. And then there's times where you don't feel good about yourself and your financial level drops to that. The thing is what happens is the change happens in you first. When you raise your vibration, the wealth comes in. When you lower your vibration, the wealth goes out. And so when you're hoarding your money, you're lowering your vibration. So the key is getting that yourself to that financial level. So you see your savings going up and your savings get to a particular level. You don't just sit there and think, okay, I need to hold on to this now. As long as you do that, you're going to start losing it. It's important that you start resetting your goals. What's the next goal? How do we take it to that next level? And you continue allowing it to grow. And when you continue allowing it to grow, you're still in that loving, open energy, knowing that there is more than enough for everybody. And that flow continues to come in and it continues to rise. And you use that money to give you the lifestyle that you're choosing to experience. Because money is not a motivation itself. Like, you know, if you're, you know, motivated to have $1 million or $1 billion, you know, what sort of images are you going to create about, like, you know, $1 million or $1 billion? But if you visualize the lifestyle of a millionaire or a billionaire, you're able to create a lot more images in your mind about that. So it's important to know that, like, you know, if you're just thinking of in money terms, then you're going to limit your manifestation. You're going to limit your abundance. It's important to allow yourself to expand your consciousness as to what you're choosing to experience in your life. Look at the things that you'll be doing with that money. What is it that you'll be doing? Where will you be traveling? Where will you be living? All those little things, you create the bigger image, and that allows you to expand your mind and allows more into your life. And that's what we're all here to do, is to allow more abundance into our lives. And that's the real key when it comes to our lives, is just letting that abundance in and allowing it to grow. But it's important to know that you don't own anything. You're just a temporary custodian of things at the moment. You know, when we all choose to leave this physical body, we don't take anything with us. So everything, all the material possessions that we've got, that we've accumulated, we're just the temporary custodians of those things. So we're allowing ourselves to have fun with what we're choosing to. And so expand your idea of that. Allow yourself to know that, you know, that money is there. It's an infinite supply. It will just keep coming in. But be smart with your money. Love and respect your money, and your money will grow for you. Right? So let's just teach you how to do that. Knowing how to love and respect and appreciate your money. Knowing how to knowing how to allow your money to grow, to allow your savings to continue to grow, to allow yourself to grow the image of in your mind of what you're choosing to experience in life. So knowing that you can allow yourself to have clear visuals of all your desires, and it's safe for you to create those images in your mind. So let's just download all of those. And just knowing what it feels like to have a healthy relationship with money. Cool, so what's next?
Okay, so next question is from Alex. So she knows she's created the whole scenario where she's at the moment, but she's very scared, being so far from home and not having people here to turn to. I want to come home and feel safe. Then on the other hand, I need to give it a go, so I do not have any regrets. I've asked Creator for guidance and to keep me safe and protected, and to open up to the opportunities that I can recognize them. What's next for her?
Well, you said it yourself there. I mean, the worst thing that you can do is just, run back home and live with all these regrets. Look, at the end of the day, you're never alone. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. You're never alone. Like, especially in today's society, we've got Zoom calls, we've got Skype calls, we've got, we can have face-to-face calls with anybody all over the world. And it's important that you're not shutting yourself off from your support networks. The thing is everything that happens to you in your life is a gift, right? So what you need to be looking at now is, okay, so where's the gift in all of this situation? Allow yourself to see the beauty in what you're experiencing. So, from a conscious conscious perspective, right? Me here, I think you're blessed that you're in America at the moment, because you're actually out of this lockdown and, the ridiculousness that we're experiencing at this point in time. So, I believe it's happy days. At least you can still get out there. You can mingle with people. I would be having gratitude of the positives, and that's the things you want to be looking at now. What are the positives that are happening for you right now out of this whole situation? Look at the positives. Focus on the positives, and then look at the opportunities from it. So, you're there now. What is there a need for in that place? Like, is there something that, is here in Australia that they don't have over there? Like, what is it that you can do? Look at opportunities. Look at ways of doing different things. Are there many, healing practitioners and stuff like that over there? Are there many theta healers over there? Have a look at the opportunities. Allow yourself to, make the most of it. And, realistically, like, even if you need to go and get a job, like, stacking shelves in a Walmart or something like that, do it. Allow yourself to have that experience. I mean, seriously, like, who doesn't want to live in another country, at least for a period of time? So give yourself the experience of it. Allow yourself to make the most of it. Look at the positives. And if you, are really, really struggling with it, then, worst case scenario, come back home. But at the end of the day, like, you're there, make the most of it.
Okay, excellent. So the next question is from Shirley. She says she wants some guidance around the emotions she's experiencing after just having immigrated over to Adelaide. We are in quarantine, day 2, and I'm already getting anxious and not really knowing what I'm feeling and having lots of uncertainty. I'd love a reading as well as a scan to see how my body is and what is going on emotionally for me and my business, which feels like is in a standstill right now.
Yeah, okay. So basically what the first thing that I'm picking up there is, like, there's a lot of the outside group consciousness that you're connected into. So, like, that whole consciousness of, like, being in isolation and, like the quarantine or whatever it's called, that whole consciousness around that. There's to me, to be totally honest with you, like, I find like there's almost like a little bit of a stigma associated with, like, that whole, hotel quarantining type thing. It's like, like you're being isolated. It's like, back in the days when you had the lepers, it was like everybody had to stay away from the lepers and stuff like that. Like, it's just, it's like a really horrible feeling. It's a really horrible consciousness. And so what we want to do is disconnect you from that consciousness, teach you that, you can allow yourself to be in a new environment without connecting into that consciousness of, the whole isolation, the whole quarantining and all that sort of stuff. And just knowing that, you can allow yourself to have a positive experience in your new city, that it's safe and possible to do that, that you allow yourself to create a new home, and that you can be in a home regardless of where you are in the world, and that it's safe and possible to allow yourself to have that. The other thing that Adelaide's got going for it is, like, it's the city of churches, so there's a lot of churches there, so you've got like a really good connection to God in that area. So just allow yourself to tap into that, knowing that the Creator is taking care of you, that the Creator's always got your back, and that you're always safe and protected.
Beautiful.
Right. So let's just download all of those. And the only other thing that I'd work on there is just like, the whole trust. Trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting the Creator. So let's just download that you know how to and that you do have trust in all of those. Cool, so what's next?
Okay, so our next question is from Natalie. So basically her husband and herself has recently gotten a border collie named Mac. He's 8 months old and very cheeky. So cheeky and very destructive in the backyard that we actually got an obedience trainer for him. This schedule is quite intense. We can't show him affection, bring him inside, take him for walks, etc. until he is calm, as he is quite an energetic dog. We train him twice a day according to this new regime, but I really don't know if it is helping. We see little improvement, and I wondered if I could do a healing on him. I would love some guidance on what the right decision is, either to continue with the program or just manage it our own way. I really having puppies.
He's such a joyful soul, isn't he? Yeah, look, I think, he's got just as much confusion going on as you do at this point. You can feel it in him, but it all comes back to your confusion. You're confused about whether you're doing the right thing with this obedience training. You're afraid of taking away his his spirit, his joy. What I would be doing is actually speaking with his higher self. So what you do is you connect to the seventh plane and just command to speak with his higher self. And then what you do is you bring your awareness above the top of his head, above the top of his crown, and you just continue to move up until you get to the point where the higher self is. So it's the exercise that we do in the advanced course. And just speak with his higher self and talk to him about what you're trying to do. Explain to him the things that you need done differently. And when you do that, you'll find that you probably won't need to go through all that obedience training and stuff like that, because animals are so receptive to healing. So animals are amazing. They're so switched on and really clever energies, and they're just really amazing. And so that playfulness in his soul, you don't want to be taking that away. So but if he just understands what needs to be done there, then you'll find that getting him to behave in the way that you want him to behave is going to be a lot easier. So I'd just be doing the higher self exercise with him, and you can surrogate test yourself, muscle test yourself for the beliefs that he's got, and you can change those beliefs in him. So whatever it is that you would like him to be, or the areas that you would like him to be more obedient in, then muscle test yourself with those and then change those beliefs in him. Because doing healings on pets is really profound and it works really amazing, right? So let's just give you the confidence to be able to do a healing on your dog, and then it's safe and possible for you to do a healing on Mac, and that you're able to allow him to be more calm without having to suppress his spirit, without having to suppress his soul, and knowing that you can allow him to be calm just through doing healings on him and being able to speak with his higher self. So let's just download those. Cool.
Awesome. Okay, so that concludes our evening with all of those, but we have quite a few from your Chinese students. Do we have time to go through them? There's at least 10 of them. What's the time?
All right, we'll quickly do them.
Okay, so the first question is from Tanya. I feel that I have certain restrictive beliefs, but the muscle test cannot test it out anyhow. What is going on? Is it because the consciousness is too strong to dominate the body?
No, it's because you don't believe in muscle testing. So it's really important that you change your beliefs around doubting muscle testing, and that you allow yourself to believe that muscle testing works for you. But I had similar doubts when I first started Theta. So what I would do is actually work on myself. How does it make me feel that I'm not able to get clear messages with my muscle testing? So whether it was for myself or for my clients, and it was really frustrating, but I would dig on it and I changed those beliefs. And now I have total trust in my muscle testing. It's actually, really strong, and it's really profound. So all it is just changing your beliefs around it. So what we want to do is just teach you that it's safe and possible for you to recognize your truth, that it's safe and possible for you to recognize other people's truth, and that you allow your body to give you clear and true signals of what your subconscious beliefs are. Right? So let's just download those.
Okay. And hydration is
Cool.
also very important too. Okay, so next question is from Maggie. What beliefs may be related to my diabetes and obesity for her personally?
Yeah, cool. So diabetes is all about defeat, feeling defeated. So it relates to the pancreas. So that's also about the sweetness of life. But generally you're looking at, defeat and that sort of stuff. And when there's obesity, it's all about protecting yourself. So, protecting yourself from other people, protecting yourself from being hurt, protecting yourself from, whatever it is in your environment that you feel unsafe with. And it could even be, just a fear of being beautiful, a fear of, allowing yourself to express your beauty.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So the next question is from Star. My oldest son is in the 1st grade. He's unable to complete the homework independently. It is painful to urge him to do homework. My mother-in-law was grumbling towards him all the time, so I became anxious and couldn't bear the grumbling from her. So I got angry at the child and asked him to do his homework quickly. I feel that as a mother, the controlling is suffocating me, and I'm disgusted by worrying and requesting. And both my child and me can to change. Both my child and me something can't change or something. How can we correct this? I think he needs
Yes, it's just wants to know how to change.
missing information. He's obviously missing some information that is blocking him from being able to do his homework. So he does need the help and support, and nothing's wrong with getting help. I had my son when he was younger. He needed that extra help and that support, and then eventually they get it for themselves. So if they're not getting something, there's something missing. There's information that's missing, and that's the only reason why he doesn't know. So, and yeah, I think it's really important to give him that support if he can't work independently. And that independence will eventually come through the support that you do give him.
Yeah, and look, the only other thing that I'm picking up is energetically, it's like there's like a negative attachment there from his grandmother, and so it's almost like she's stopping him from being able to learn and stuff like that.
And
so
have the confidence.
It's like there's beliefs there that your mother or your partner's mother is always right, and whether it's your beliefs or your partner's beliefs, but there's those beliefs there, and your son's got those beliefs, so he's taken it on that he has to be a slow learner because that's what his grandmother believes. So let's just disconnect from that group consciousness.
Okay.
Cool. Next.
Next question is from Faye. People around me will say that my energy field is very good, but I don't feel too much. And at the same time, I feel that my energy is not very stable. May I ask, Mark, what level of belief is blocking my perception?
Okay, so the first thing I'd have to say there is just because somebody else is seeing something, somebody else has a perception of something, doesn't mean it's what you want to be seeing. Right? The thing is knowing that your intuition is where it's at the moment, and that's the perfect place that it's meant to be. Be clear on what it is that you're opening yourself up to, because realistically, if you want to be opening yourself up to be aware of everybody's energies, then you can be really negatively impacted by that. So it's important not to get caught up in that sort of thing. So what I'd be doing there is just being clear on, what is it that you really want to be feeling. If you feel really good, then leave it. Why do you need to change something like that? If you're feeling good about yourself, it's happy days. Just because somebody else is, making these observations and stuff like that, then you don't need to be experiencing what other people are experiencing. So let's just teach you how to live without having to do or be what other people want you to do or be. Okay, so what's next?
Okay, so the next question is from Chun. Chun Ping, I feel that I'm good at manifesting material things, but why do I have the fear of money and the sense of security and happiness coming to me? It does not allow myself to be rich and happy. It caused me to have lots of debts. I feel that my debts are related to this. How to transform? Do the wealth consciousness class.
Yeah, definitely. You need the wealth consciousness class. But look, at the end of the day, it's just about like your relationship with money is what's going to allow you to have positive or negative experiences with money. The better your relationship is with money, the more you're going to allow into your life, the more you allow yourself to experience it, and the more positive things that you'll do with that money. The other thing to look at there as well is like, understanding the difference between good debt and bad debt. Credit card debts are not good debt, right? They're bad debts. But if you've got a debt that you've got on something that is an investment that's actually giving you a financial return, then that's not a bad debt. That's actually a good debt. So it's important to know the difference between the two. So what we want to do there is just teach you how to live without creating negative debt for yourself. Teach you how to live without resenting money and pushing money away from you. Let's just teach you what it feels like to have a healthy relationship with money, what it feels like to be comfortable with money, and that you can allow your money to grow exponentially. So let's just download those things for you. Cool.
Okay. So this is from Mu Juan. Could you help check what is the blocks in my intimate relationship?
Okay, so what I'm getting there is like she's actually afraid of intimacy. I think it's she. Yeah, so she's afraid of intimacy herself. So she's not allowing, people to get close to her because she doesn't want people close to her. And it's like she doesn't want to be close to herself. So it's about letting go of your resentment to yourself, letting go of your disappointment with yourself. It's about being able to love and appreciate yourself for who you are. Recognizing that everybody on this planet has made mistakes. We've all done things that we regret. We've all got so many things that we would like to change about ourselves, but it's important that we're able to love and appreciate ourselves for who we are today, knowing that right now you are the best version of yourself. And so allowing yourself to recognize the positives in you, allowing yourself to appreciate the positives in you, and knowing that you are worthy and deserving of intimacy, that you are worthy and deserving of being loved and appreciated in a sexual way, that it's safe and possible to do that. And the other thing that we want to do there too is in a lot of religious teachings, there's, that whole consciousness of intimacy is wrong. So, the only reason why men and women should have sex is for procreation. And, it's about getting out of that consciousness and knowing that love is beautiful. When you share love between yourself and your loving partner, it's like a really profound experience, and everybody's worthy and deserving of experiencing that. So knowing that it's safe and possible to have that. So let's just download that for everybody.
Okay, so this is another question on intimacy as well.
No.
Yeah, sort of. How can I go through the emptiness of life and feel intimacy? Because I feel there is no sense of existence for the world, including Theta Healing and myself.
Yeah, so, look, it's like I mentioned earlier, if you're going to focus on the glass being half empty, you're going to get more of that experience. And if that's what your focus is, then that's all you're going to be attracting into your reality. It's important that you allow yourself to start looking at things differently. The way you're looking at your life, the way you're looking at the world is not benefiting you, and it's not benefiting anybody else. So it's important that you allow yourself to start doing things differently. Allow yourself to start having gratitude for things. Look at the things that are around you. If you hear a bird singing, allow yourself to be in gratitude for that. That is part of this reality that we've created. There is so much beauty around us. And when you allow yourself to recognize that beauty, it is just profound, and your whole experience of life changes. But obviously there's a belief there in you that is not allowing you to see the beauty in life. I remember when I was half dead and coming out of hospital, I remember just feeling the sun on my skin brought me to tears, because it was one of the most profound feelings I'd ever experienced in my life. Just, it was something that I'd missed for so long, and I forgot how incredible it was just feeling the sun on my skin. There is so much to be grateful for. There is so much of life to have appreciation for. And if, it's a choice whether you allow yourself to see that or not. It's a choice for you to change your focus. And the only way it's going to change is if you make a decision to change it, right? And it really is simple to make that decision, but it's just a choice. And it's up to you whether you're choosing to experience that. Because like at the end of the day, you can stay focusing on all the negativity that's happening around the world and on the planet, and nothing's going to change. The only way it's going to change is if you start changing your focus, start allowing yourself to see more of the positives, and that will build.
Okay, cool. Okay, next question is from Landa. How can I heal myself faster?
Work on yourself more often.
Okay, cool. What is the best way to practice manifest in abundance? I feel I know the belief, but it's very hard to dig to the bottom belief.
Yeah, well, the first thing I'd be doing is digging on my belief that it's hard to dig to the bottom belief. As long as you believe it's hard to dig there, you're going to make it difficult for yourself, because the truth is it's easy. Healing yourself is really easy. When you're really, really ready to change, then the change becomes really easy. But when it comes to, practicing manifesting in abundance, the best way to do it is have a clear focus. What is it that you are choosing to experience in your life? I go through a lot of these things in more detail in my wealth consciousness class, where we're just, having real clarity about what it is that you're choosing to create, why you're choosing to create it, what action can I take towards achieving this, and, creating a positive image of it in your mind. That is the best way to manifest things. But, ultimately, if you're going to be focused on thinking that it's difficult, or it's really hard to get to the bottom, or it's hard to manifest, then I'd actually be working on those beliefs, because they are just beliefs.
Yep.
Right?
Excellent. Next question, and our last question is from Yu. How can I have clairvoyance, and what is my block here?
Yeah. Okay, so it's easy to have clairvoyance, but let go of your attachment to it. Just know that your intuition is there. Allow yourself to recognize how your intuition comes in. When I first started, I was so focused on having my clairvoyance working that I created so much stress around it. I couldn't see any images. I couldn't see the white lights when I was going up into a theta state. It was just so much stress around that. And then I realized that predominantly I get my messages clairaudiently. And so I let go of needing to see an image, and I started allowing myself to listen to it. And all of a sudden I started getting the visuals, and that's all you need to do. I would work on myself around it as well. So doing the digging work on yourself, but also one thing that worked for me was I got a very dear friend over in Perth, and we would do swaps on each other all the time. And when she was doing a healing on me, she's the most clairvoyant person I know. She would go in and she'd be doing the healing on me, and she'd be telling me that what she's witnessing. And I would be going up into a theta state, and I'd be saying, Creator, show me what she's seeing. And that helped me to open up my intuition, my clairvoyance. And so all of a sudden, that was a big thing. So practice with people that have clairvoyance, and just ask, Creator, show me what they're seeing. That's a really good way of doing things as well. But doing meditations, visualizations. So see yourself walking along a beach. See yourself, hearing the water, feeling the water on your feet, those sorts of things. Make up a story in your mind in that meditation, and allow yourself just to have those visuals, because that's where your visuals come in that imagination part of your mind.
Excellent, fantastic.
Cool. Okay, so what we want to do now is I'm going to talk you all up into a theta state. We're going to do an unconditional love healing. So we'll send you, your family, everybody here watching this and their families, unconditional love, and anybody else that you're aware of that can do some unconditional love at the moment, especially all the world leaders and all the pharmaceutical companies, all the medical companies, everybody involved. Send them unconditional love, so we can allow the truth of this situation to come out, and that we can allow ourselves to move on from this situation and have freedom from, you know, the lockdowns and whatever other experiences we're having at the moment.
And raise our consciousness so that we can move beyond where we're at the moment and really diminishing all of that fear, and so we can bring about joy, happiness, love in our lives, because that's what we want to create, that level of consciousness, moving beyond this fear-based consciousness.
Yeah, cool. So if you just close your eyes and visualize energy coming up from the center of the earth, coming up through your feet, coming up out of the top of your head as a beautiful ball of light. See yourself in that ball of light just moving straight up past the universe. You'll see yourself going through all these white lights, through a golden light, into a thick watery like substance like jelly, and up into a pearl iridescent white light. Feel every cell in your body one with that pure unconditional love. So we make the request, Creator, it is requested to fill every cell of my body, my family, everybody watching this webinar, their families, and all the other people that we mentioned, and anybody else that we forgot to mention, with unconditional love. Fill every cell of our bodies. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. So now allow yourself to receive that unconditional love. Feel it coming in through every cell in your body. And see that unconditional love going out to all those people that we mentioned. Knowing that it's their free will and choice to accept it. So if they're choosing to accept it, it's great. If they're choosing not to, that's great too. Okay, and now just take your awareness back up into that pearl iridescent white light. Feel yourself centered and grounded. Take a deep breath in and open your eyes. Cool, so it's been a real honor to be able to share this evening with you all. It's difficult circumstances for everybody at the moment, and I hope you're just hanging in there, because what's really important to understand is if you look at this pandemic, how it just came in. So it just was almost like overnight it came in, right? The exciting thing to understand about that is basically overnight it will disappear too. And that's the thing is we're all caught up in this consciousness of it being here at the moment and not seeing an end to it, but then we'll get to a critical point, like that tipping point where all of a sudden it changes and all of a sudden it disappears. So the same way it came in and it hit and it became huge, the same thing will happen when the time is right for it to move on, and it will no longer be an issue in our lives. And so you're as quick as it came in, it'll go away that quickly too. So it's important to allow yourself to have that faith and that knowing, because if you look at the papers, if you look at the news and all that sort of stuff, it feels like we're going to be in this lockdown for the next 30 years or something. It's not about that. Just know that this situation will change really quickly, but get out of the negative mindset of it and allow yourself to take as many positives from this situation as possible, right? So I've got Wealth Consciousness coming up next week.
That's in the Philippines. So that's a 4-day evening class. So that'll be done Tuesday through to Friday. So if you want to join that class, we still have some availability there. Then we also have the following weekend, we have Dubai. Then we have next month also Wealth Consciousness in India. We also have it, where else do we have it? We've got it in Greece coming up as well. We've got it in Japan. So our Greece hosts are also doing it, translating it in Greek as well as German. And then we have Brazil, and then we have Italy, and then we have South Africa. So we've got quite a few. And then coming into the new year, we've also got the US.
We've got China again too.
Oh yes, China of course. And I think we're doing a wealth consciousness as well as manifest in abundance workshop together for that one. We've also got you and and we've also got you and the creator.
Thanks for telling
class. I'll update you. Coming up at the beginning of October. So if you want to join that class, that one's probably about halfway full as well. So we'll be doing that class online here in, as well for people here in Sydney. So if you want to join the you and the creator class, we've got that coming up. And that's it for the moment. So we don't know whether our in-person classes are going to happen for our basic, advanced and dig deeper classes towards the end of the year, but we'll definitely keep you posted. So it just depends on how things pan out here in Sydney.
Yeah, we can teach them online, so there's no stress. We can still teach the classes, but it's just a matter of how and whatever. So it's been a real honour to be able to share this evening with you all, and because I'm doing a full evening class next week, realistically we're not going to do another live, but we'll do one the following week.
Well, we've got practice night the following
Doesn't
week.
matter, we'll do one the following week.
But I'm just letting you know we've also got a practice night that week as well. So
cool.
Excellent. That'll be on the Tuesday evening.
All right, awesome.
Fabulous.
So thank you guys.
We enjoyed this evening, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too as much as we did. Good night.